Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to replace the throttle body gasket on an NA Miata, and I'm sure the same goes for NBs. I can't promise you, but I'm almost positive. So the reason I'm doing this is actually because I'm having a vacuum leak right there. I just changed the gasket, and I think I didn't clean up the surfaces quite good enough. So I figured I might as well make a video for people who aren't sure exactly how to do it. So I also just wanted to tell you guys how I found out I was having a vacuum leak. The car started up and it made this sound. So obviously I knew something was wrong. I immediately suspected pulley, belt, something like that. Ruled all that out, and what I came down to was this. And all I did was take some starting fluid and spray down this seam where the throttle body mates up to the intake manifold. And my engine revved up, meaning it's sucking in starting fluid through that seam, and so there's a leak there. So what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do today is remove the throttle body, clean up the surfaces, put on a new gasket, and then put it all back together. Okay, so for the first step, you're going to take a 10 mil. We're going to have to get this intake out of the way, this whole crossover too from the airbox. So loosen that hose clamp up. All right, now you're going to take some needle nose, move this clamp right here. Remove that plug, or tube, sorry. And then there's a little clamp down in here. The needle nose are right on it right now. Right in there. You gotta get these on that. Squeeze. And then just pull it backwards. I did also forget to mention you have to remove this 10mm bolt right down in there as well, which is right next to that throttle body. Alright, so now that we've pulled this whole thing off of that throttle body, the next step is there's a nut right there, a nut right there. And then underneath here, you'll see there's one of the bolts. My finger's right on it. Okay, down in there. And then the last bolt that you're gonna need to remove, my finger's right on it, just for reference. And I believe these are all a 12mm socket. So I'm gonna remove those and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got both nuts and both bolts removed, and now I just had this off, so mine's gonna come off pretty easily, but it might be stuck on there if it's been on there for a while. So just take like a rubber mallet and tap like right there, give it a few taps. That should persuade it enough to come on off. I also forgot, you're gonna have to remove the throttle cable. Alright, so all you have to do this is move the throttle cable, or the throttle plate, all the way back, and then you'll see where this cable comes in. You can just move it forwards like this, and then pull to the side, and that cable just pops right out. Alright, so with all that stuff done, I'm just gonna wiggle this off, and now that'll just be set right here. That's good. Alright, so now you're gonna have to clean up this surface where the gasket's gonna sit, and don't be like me, don't be lazy, don't do it twice, just do it right the first time. Okay, so unfortunately I couldn't really show you guys what I had to do there because I needed two hands to do it, and I don't have any way of holding my GoPro in an angle that can view what I was doing. But essentially what I did was I took a regular old gasket scraper and a hammer and used it like a chisel, because the gasket that was on this throttle body before was like basically part of this throttle body. So I did that until it was pretty much clear. I mean, you know, you can't get it perfect, but do your best. And then once you get it where you're happy, and it needs to be pretty damn clean, guys. I don't mean like you can leave little chunks here and there. You can't. That's what I did last time and it leaked. Then you're just going to take some Scotch-Brite pad, scrub down both surfaces nice and good, and now you're ready to install your new gasket. So to do that, all you got to do, match it up if you want, just to be double sure. So that's definitely going to go like that. So just slide it over these two studs, like that. And you're just going to take your throttle body, slide that up on the two studs, take your two nuts, put them on there, and install your two bolts down there. One quick thing I did forget to mention, guys, is before you put this all back together, make sure you take like a vacuum cleaner or a blowgun or something and just clear out. You'll see like coolant passages in this throttle body. Blow those out, blow off where that throttle plate is. Just make sure there's no crud in there, because you don't want that going into your engine or your coolant passages. Alright, so now that that's all assembled, I've got the wire hook backed up. You're going to put this crossover tube back on. One thing you want to make sure you do just to keep things tidy is you'll see this harness right here, this wiring harness, has a little tab on it that actually hooks onto the bottom of this intake tube. So you'll see it, my finger's on it. That is where that tab goes into, which for reference, my hand's right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna hook all this back up. So start with hooking that clip, the wire harness, onto the intake. Once you've taken care of that, slide this hose on. It'll just make your life easier to do this before you try anything else. All right, so once that's slid on, your next step is gonna be getting this guy back onto the throttle body. Okay, so once that's on there, you might have to fight with it a little bit, and this might get tight, you might have to loosen it up again, whatever. Once it's on there nice and good, and make sure you push down like that and get the bottom seated too, since you can't see that. You'll know it's seated when that hole where that bolt goes is lined up perfectly. Now you're just gonna do something like this, just get a 6-inch extension and put the bolt on there. Just reach down in there. And just start this by hand like that so you know you're not cross-threading it. Once it feels like it's started, go ahead and put a ratchet on there. Snug that up, don't gotta kill it. Snug up this hose clamp, and then just put this clip with your needle nose back to where it goes. Okay. Oh, and don't forget this tube as well. All right, let's start it up and see if it still makes that sound. All right, guys, so there it is. I didn't actually film the car afterwards, but it was completely back to normal, and the sound's fixed. So yeah, that's how you replace your throttle body gasket. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.